What is up, Diecast race fans, and welcome back to Bay City Speedway and the semifinals of the Dynasty of Dodge Modified Diecast Racing Tournament presented by Bay City Diecast Racing. As always, my name is Daryl and I'll be your host. Dynasty of Dodge is sponsored by Slandman Customs and Redline Derby Racing. Today we'll see our last semifinal group, number 3. 6 cars, 6 laps. Only the top 2 will advance to complete our roster for our 6-car, 12-lap final. Scoring has been altered to fit the format. Each lap winner will receive 6 points, on down to a DNF, for which you receive the entire middle of a donut. And now let's meet our drivers for Group 3 of the semifinals of the Dynasty of Dodge tournament at Bay City Speedway. First up on the pole position, driving for the A team, it's the Crazy Canuck. Starting outside front row, from G4 Diecast Racing, this is Mama G. Next up inside row 2, driving for Filippiak Performance Diecast, it's Brutal. Outside row 2, driving for Doc's Speed Shop, it's Doc. From Rust Belt Diecast Racing, this is Danny Tanner. And finally, driving for Vapor Racing Treetops Raceway Park, it's Sneaky Bob. Here we go once again, folks, atop beautiful Bay City Speedway. Our last race before the finals. Crazy Canuck on the pole next to Mama G. And they're off. Down to the 165, Canuck leads us out. Brutal drops down in a second. Brutal on the inside, Canuck fights him off. Down around 7, Canuck gets loose. Brutal up on the railing, and there goes Mama G to take the lap win. Followed by Crazy Canuck, Brutal, Doc, and Sneaky Bob, who all come flying across the finish line. And a rough start for Danny Tanner. Not much action here from lap 1 as all the cars seem to fall into line out of turn 2. Brutal gives the lead here, but decides he doesn't like it that much at all. Around turn 7, Canuck spins, Brutal gets up on the wall. Doc and Bob back there screwing around too. Let's get it together, fellas. The winners of this are in the finals. Back up top, lap 2, Mama G slides to the pole, Doc to the front row, Crazy Canuck and Sneaky Bob, row 2, Brutal and Danny Tanner in the rear. Gate drops there off. Mama G out front, the whole inside lane takes the lead. Past the painted ladies, Canuck into Mama G and she goes around. Canuck is stuck. There goes Brutal, Doc and Bob. Down around 7, Brutal will claim lap 2, followed by Doc, Sneaky Bob, Mama G in reverse, and Crazy Canuck makes it across the line for some much needed points. And that leaves one driver. Got him! First of all, Doc needs to do a better job here at getting off the line. You can't have the 6th place car pass you before turn 2. But what a break here as Canuck and Mama G get tangled, allowing half the field to pass him up. Yet they were still able to finish and pick up some points, which is more than I can say for Danny Tanner. Brutal with a 1-point lead as we head up to lap 3. Doc slides over to share the front with Sneaky Bob. Danny Tanner in the second row hoping for some points. Here we go down the bridge around 1, inside lane again out front. Doc leads him past the painted ladies and Doc takes off. Mama G in second gives chase. Down around 7, here comes Crazy Canuck for second. Mama G for third, Sneaky Bob in for fourth, and Danny Tanner in reverse will finish the race and collect some points. And let's see if we can find. Oh, there's Brutal. Keep an eye on Doc here, who was the victim of the track and my jokes last race, as he takes advantage of this pole position, and as he nears the painted ladies, almost pulls a Mopar Mac and leaves the screen entirely. I'm guessing Mama G got loose out of camera view, so we'll check that out on the BCFD cam.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Yep, there it is. Lap 4, Doc is your leader halfway through. Sneaky Bob makes his way to the pole with Danny Tanner on the outside. Mama G and Crazy Canuck in the rear. There's the green as the inside lane moves ahead. Sneaky Bob will lead him single file past the ladies. Down across the cliffside, Doc doing all he can. Around 7 and Sneaky Bob will take the win, and Mama G out of nowhere to take second right away from Doc. Followed by Danny Tanner. As we see Crazy Canuck and Brutal with DNFs. Well, Danny Tanner must have had Michelle in the back, as he was in no hurry to get down the bridge, and the entire inside lane moves ahead. Sneaky Bob somehow holds off a charging Doc to take this race wire to wire, and Doc just getting loose enough to let Mama G grab that second spot. Let's hope that doesn't hurt him in the long run. Here we go, folks, lap 5, and we have a tie for the lead with just 2 laps to go. Danny Tanner gets his shot at the pole next to Brutal. Down the Golden State Bridge into turn 1, Brutal will lead him out. Canuck and Tanner battling for second, and Tanner goes over and takes Mama G and Doc with him. Canuck on the inside, and Brutal goes around. There goes Canuck. Here comes Bob, and Crazy Canuck holds on for the win by a fender over Sneaky Bob. And Brutal will take third. Whoa, what a finish! If we ever needed to see a replay, folks, it was this one. Canuck and Tanner side by side, and Tanner just a bit too high into 4, and bam! He clips the billboard, flips completely over into the infield, takes a piece of Mama G with him, and it looks like Doc was already going over on his own. Then Brutal with the lead, white knuckling it toward the finish, goes around allowing both Crazy Canuck and Sneaky Bob right by. Lap 6, this is it, folks. And just take a look at these scores. 5 of 6 cars still with a chance to move on to the finals. And Danny Tanner. Brutal in a must-win starts on the pole next to Crazy Canuck. Here we go one last time down the bridge. Crazy Canuck on the outside leads him into turn 2. Brutal sideways and straightens it out, but Mama G goes by for second. Doc and Tanner get stuck. Crazy Canuck around 7 is gonna win it. Mama G gets loose. Can she hold on a second? She can, as Brutal will cross just in front of Sneaky Bob to claim third. Bob in for fourth. And what an absolutely horrible time to DNF. I remember my first race. Clean it up, fellas. People are watching. First of all, watch Tanner go left turn Clyde, completely cutting off Doc, and that's probably where this all started. Brutal gets loose, bunches them all together in front of the ladies. Sneaky Bob can't figure out what he wants to do, so he just does nothing and throws up a block. Meanwhile, that's gotta be a hilarious conversation right there. Let's watch this again from the Transamericam. Looks like 2 hefty guys going through a door at the same time. Here we go, folks. Your last 2 finals for the Dynasty of Dodge are... Oh, wow. Crazy Canuck goes through, but we have a tie for second place. Mama G and Sneaky Bob will race off for the last spot remaining in the finals. Both drivers won a race, and Sneaky Bob, with the faster winning lap time, earns the spot on the pole. We'll go first to 3 wins this time, folks. Rapid fire style. Here we go down the bridge. Mama G on the outside will snatch the advantage away early. Down past the painted ladies. Mama G increasing her lead, and she goes around. She's in reverse. Sneaky Bob hits her head on, and he will push her across the line to take race 1 with a nifty time of 10.538. Race 2 will switch lanes. Mama G up 1-0 on the inside. She gets loose out of 3, and here comes Bob. Bob right on her tails will head down to 7, and she goes around again. Bob knocks her straight in. Sneaky Bob is gonna win race 2. Up top, race 3. Bob back on the inside, hoping for an actual advantage, but Mama G grinds her way to the front. Sneaky Bob doing well, keeping pace. Around the fire department, Mama G grabs race 3 and a 2-1 advantage, just 1 win away from the finals. Sneaky Bob in dire straits here in a 2-1 deficit in perhaps the final race of his tournament. Mama G not wasting any time here, and she is out. All she has to do is keep it clean around 7, and Mama G will join Crazy Canuck as our Group 3 winners, advancing to the finals of the Dynasty of Dodge. Thank you so much to Sneaky Bob with Vapor Racing, Brutal with FPD Racing, Doc with Docs Racing, and with Rust Belt Diecast Racing, rest in peace, Danny Tanner. And thank you so much to you, the viewer. Stay tuned next time when we welcome our top 6 drivers back to Bay City Speedway for the 12-lap finals of the Dynasty of Dodge Modified Diecast Racing Tournament. This has been a presentation of Bay City Diecast Racing. My name is Daryl, and I've been your host. Make sure you like and subscribe so you don't miss any of the upcoming action. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you again soon, everybody.